disagree with these takes?
No way.
No way.
Or do you approve?
Oh, no doubts. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. No diggity, no doubt.
It's time to ask Michael Lombardi, no way or no doubt?
Michael, I told the people at home that we were going to stay away from injuries for a little while, and then I looked down at my sheet, and the first thing I put in here is injury-related, but I think it's a good one. So San Francisco, we know the last handful of years have had really solid seasons derailed by major injuries. This season, we're already seeing the injury bug creep up a little bit. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams all going down in the same game. No way or no doubt, injuries will be the reason that San Francisco does not win the Super Bowl this year.
I think that's true. There's no doubt. I believe that. But you could say that for every team, right? Philadelphia can't afford to lose 3 or 4 of their key guys either. Trent Williams isn't going to be a problem. He's going to come back. You always worry about an oblique injury, especially they call it an oblique. What concerns you about that, and again, I'm not a doctor, but for McCaffrey, is sometimes they have those, those hernias, those what we call sports hernias, where you really, they think it's an oblique, but they come to find out it's a sports hernia. It goes back to when Eric Wright played for the 49ers. Kind of ruined his career because nobody knew what it was at the time. That's what you're hoping for that McCaffrey doesn't have, and I'm sure he'll do whatever it takes to come back and get healthy. But every team, there's no doubt they have to stay healthy. This is a marathon, and who's ever the healthiest at the end of December and into January will win this, the best teams.
Absolutely. CMC, the most tenuous situation right now. Shanahan didn't offer a timeline on him just yet. Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams considered day-to-day with their injuries. They're laying 6.5 against the Vikings on Monday Night Football, so a little extra rest there. Robert Saleh on Good Morning Football today discussing a potential early return of Aaron Rodgers from the Achilles, saying the more you doubt him, the more fuel he has. He's on a mission, has repeatedly called the way that he is handling this rehab process unbelievable. Maybe call me one of the doubters, Michael. I don't know if we should be buying into this spectacle and being on the field pregame throwing already. So no way or no doubt, we should not overreact to the Aaron Rodgers post-op progress and pregame throwing spectacle right now.
No doubt we should not overreact. Okay, look, there's a difference between being cleared to play and playing at a high level, okay? And we saw this with Alex Smith coming back from that devastating injury that he had, right? And he took a long time to come back, and he wasn't healthy to play. If Rodgers could play after 4 months, which would be historic in Achilles tendon injuries history, that would be remarkable. Could he move around in the pocket? And is he going to play behind this horrendous offensive line that is going to cause more problems? I mean, look, they've lost Tucker. Last week, they lost their other right tackle. I mean, they're losing linemen left and right. No, they lost Tippmann, the right guard. So now they're playing backups. You're going to put him behind there? Can he move and get away from anybody? I don't think so. Look, we see this when we watch quarterbacks. Russell Wilson isn't the same athlete he was when he was younger in his career. He has a harder time getting away from people, doesn't run as fast. You're coming back off an Achilles, you're 40 years old. Now, look, I think it's a wonderful story, and I think it's inspirational to the Jets. And Rodgers, to me, is doing this to keep his team motivated, to keep the eye on the ball, or else things could fall apart. But to think he could come back and play at a very high level, come on. Yeah. Please stop.
Thank you. It's Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays on McAfee today, so we'll see if anything notable comes from that conversation. Let's keep it moving. The Ravens, Steelers, Browns, and Bengals, all 500 or better through 6 weeks, Michael, and the AFC has not been as strong as it has in years past. No way or no doubt, at least 2 AFC wildcards will come from the North.
No doubt. Today when I looked at the who would make the playoffs, 3 NFC West teams make the playoffs. The Rams, the 49ers, and Seattle. I think there's no doubt 2 will make it from the North. I wouldn't be surprised if 3 made it, frankly. They're really good teams. I would make a strong case for whoever doesn't make it from the North to be the team that represents the South in the NFC because none of those teams are really good enough.
Yeah, the NFC South is ugly, isn't it? Winter is coming. We'll see who will be the king of the North, but I like that from the wild card perspective. Now, everybody expected and at times sounded like they wanted the Houston Texans to be bad, Michael, but they might be for real. Won 3 of their last 4 games. The lone loss in that span by less than a field goal. Their division odds have dropped from plus 475 a week ago to plus 275. No way or no doubt, the Houston Texans, they're alive to win that AFC South.
They are live. There's no doubt. And let me tell you why. As the great Phil Leonardo said, let me tell you three things. They're good. Their offense is good. They haven't even run the football. They average 3.2 yards a carry. They haven't been able to run the ball. The longest run of the year is 17 yards. And yet they're still able to do things well offensively. They're 44% on third down. That's remarkable. That's really good for a team that can't run the football. Their quarterback is playing at a high level. Better than, almost 7.8 yards per attempt. If Daniel Jones could get to 7-8 yards per attempt, there'd be a parade down in New York City on Broadway if he could get that far. So that's really good. And they're going to continue to get better. They had a bunch of injuries in their offensive line. But the other thing I think we don't talk enough about is how good they are in the kicking game. They're very good in the kicking game. They play well in that phase. They'll win that phase against most teams they play. And because of that, if they play decent on offense and decent in the kicking game, they're good. Look, I think Slovic has done a really good job as the offensive coordinator. And for a team that relies on play-action pass to be successful, with no running game, it's somewhat remarkable.
Who'd have thunk that of the rookie quarterbacks that were drafted, C.J. Stroud would go ahead and lift himself up the way that he has here early. Been really fun to see, and good for Houston and DeMeco Ryans as well, which we might talk a little Coach of the Year a little bit later as well. He's kind of sneaking up that odds board. But let's keep it rolling. The Bears have lost 10 straight home games headed into Sunday's game against the Raiders. We already talked about the quarterback woes on both sides of things. But regardless, Michael, no way or no doubt, the streak stays alive because the Raiders are better equipped to win.
Well, you're asking me. I'm rooting for the Raiders. It's just so hard. I hate it when you just gave me that stat. It's like, oh no, I hate those stats. It's like when they come out there and they start. When Jake Elliott was getting ready to kick that field goal against the Jets, and all they could talk about is how he's made 72 straight, and all the okay, there it goes.
And
wide
when
right.
The Eagles had won 12 in a row historically against the Jets, too. Throw that in there.
You're killing me, Stephanie. You're killing me with this one. No, I'll pass on this. I have no opinion on this, whether they can or they can't.
Fair. How about this? There are 9 3-3 teams right now across the National Football League through Week 6, Michael. The Saints, Falcons, Commanders, Rams, Jets, Bengals, Colts, Texans, and Raiders. No way or no doubt, the Saints are the worst of those 3-3 teams.
No way they're the worst. No.
No way?
No,
who's the worst?
The Saints, you said?
The Saints are the worst of those 9. No? So who you got?
Look, I don't think I would say of those teams you named, Washington's
Commanders?
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Look, Washington won a game with less than 200 yards of offense. Their quarterback gets sacked. They gave up 400 yards of offense to the Atlanta Falcons, and the Falcons didn't run the ball, and everybody wants to bench Desmond Ridder. It's kind of comical, right? So, yeah, they're not good on defense. I misjudged them on defense based on their numbers from last year. They're not. The Saints are very good defensively. They're just horrible on offense. The Washington are not good in any area. The Raiders are basically just average in a lot of it. The Raiders they scored 21 points. They've won 3 games. They've kind of found a way to win, which is great for the Raiders. But they really, last week without getting the ball to Devontae Adams to win was really an amazing thing, and they had opportunities to get him the football. So, yeah, I'm going to go Washington here.
I love that.
I say that. When you look at on paper, they play the Giants. Giants beat them twice last year. You would think Washington would be their favorite in the game. I'm not sure that's right.
It's funny you say that because that's exactly what I was looking at was, hey, they're a 2-point road favorite this week against the Giants. So does that say more about the Commanders or more about the Giants based on what we've seen so far?
I'm not sure about that one. I don't know. I don't trust it.
I got one more. 45 seconds. Caleb Williams, not a lock to be the number 1 overall pick. Nowhere, no doubt.
No doubt. Don't finish it, no doubt. 45. Look, everybody just runs away with it. Tank for Tua. Justin Herbert was really good. There's a lot of work to be done. And if Caleb Williams wants to come in with attitude that I don't want to play for your team, look, buddy, we'll find somebody else to play quarterback.
Caleb Williams still a $5 favorite to be the first overall selection in the 2024 NFL Draft. Drake May sitting there at plus 550 as the next shortest shot. But Caleb Williams got brought back down to earth a little bit this past week thanks to those old Fighting Irish.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.